In a tranquil village, where time seemed to have a pace of its own, lived an elderly woman named Mrs. Thompson. She was no ordinary woman. She was the guardian of a magical garden. This garden was a spectacle of nature, blooming with the most vibrant flowers and bearing the most luscious fruits all year round, much to the awe of the villagers. But the enchantment of this garden wasn't just due to Mrs. Thompson's green thumb. Every morning, like clockwork, Mrs. Thompson had a unique ritual. She would amble through the garden, her soft voice floating in the air, whispering words of encouragement to her plants. "Today is your day to shine, my lovely blooms," she would say, her face glowing with a warm, nurturing smile. This ritual wasn't just a simple morning routine for her. It was her way of pouring love into her garden. Little did the villagers know that her words carried a unique power. One sunny day, a curious young boy named Jake couldn't resist his intrigue about Mrs. Thompson's magical garden. Drawn by the garden's allure, Jake approached Mrs. Thompson, who was, as always, tending to her plants with a tender smile. "Mrs. Thompson," Jake began, his voice full of wonder, "how does your garden grow so beautifully?" With a soft chuckle, Mrs. Thompson beckoned Jake closer, her eyes twinkling with a gentle wisdom. "It's not magic, dear boy," she explained, her voice as soothing as a lullaby. "It's love and compassion. I treat my garden with kindness, and in return, it rewards me with its beauty." This revelation left Jake perplexed. How could plants understand kindness? Sensing his confusion, Mrs. Thompson elaborated. "Every living thing, Jake, responds to kindness, even plants. They can feel your energy and respond positively when you treat them with love." This idea, so simple yet profound, ignited a spark in Jake's young mind. He wondered if he could replicate Mrs. Thompson's compassionate gardening with the wilted plant in his backyard. "Could I do it too, Mrs. Thompson?" he asked, his eyes bright with curiosity. Mrs. Thompson responded with a nod and a warm smile. "Of course, Jake. All you need is love, patience, and a little faith in yourself." Intrigued, Jake decided to try the same with a struggling plant in his backyard. Days passed, and Jake's plant, once struggling, began to thrive. The once withered leaves now stood tall and firm, flush with a vibrant green hue. The change was so remarkable that Jake couldn't keep his discovery a secret any longer. He had to share the magic of compassion with everyone. With a heart full of excitement, Jake ran to the village square, gathering the villagers with his tale of transformation. He shared his experience of how he had nurtured his plant with words of encouragement and love, just as Mrs. Thompson had taught him. His story was met with a mixture of wonder and skepticism, yet the proof was right there in Jake's backyard. The plant that was once struggling was now flourishing, all thanks to a little kindness and care. Moved by Jake's tale, the villagers decided to try this unusual method in their own gardens. They began whispering sweet nothings to their plants, treating them with the same kindness and compassion as they would a dear friend. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, a miraculous transformation took place. The whole village seemed to bloom overnight. Gardens overflowed with vibrant flowers and lush greenery, all echoing the same message: kindness works wonders. The village blossomed into a sea of colors, thanks to the newfound understanding that compassion could transform the world around them. Just as one plant had transformed under Jake's care, so did the entire village under the warmth of compassion. This heartwarming tale of Mrs. Thompson and her magical garden has shown us that love, kindness, and compassion can make the world bloom in the most delightful ways. It's not about the green thumb, the perfect soil, or the right amount of sunshine. It's about the energy we put into the world, the kindness we share, and the compassion we show. Just like the plants in Mrs. Thompson's garden, every living thing responds positively to kindness. We too can flourish when treated with love and compassion. The power of kindness is transformative, turning a struggling plant into a thriving one, a dull village into a vibrant sea of colors. This is the magic of compassion, the magic we all have within us. So let us all be like the compassionate gardener, nurturing not only plants but the souls around us, making the world a better and more vibrant place for everyone.